What is up, Packers fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Draft. And today it is Mock Draft Monday, brought to you by Brewski Light Lager. Our friends over at Badger State Brewing. Badger State Brewing is just minutes away from beautiful Lambeau Field. You should head over there for Draft Week. Draft Week, you say? Yes, Draft Week. And I'll explain more about that later on in the show. Folks, it's Mock Draft Monday. We're going to do things a little bit differently here. We've got a seven-round mock from Pro Football Network. They don't always put stuff by the byline or the byline under the main image. It's sometimes hard. I think Weissman is the name of the guy because it's in the URL. But I struggle with the bylines. I want to know who did the work. I want to know who put in the effort. But we're breaking that one down here. We're going to start with a seven-round mock. Then we're going to try to trade down. We're going to use the PFF. I think we used NFL Draft Buzz last week. We're going to go back home, back to the PFF mock sim. And we're going to try to trade down and grab a pick. We won't force it, but that's what we're going to try to do. All right. So right before Green Bay picks Omarion Hampton, that would make you happy. Green Bay not in the market for a highly chosen running back. Maxwell Hairston, they weren't going to take him anyway. Too small. Michael Williams, that would be sad. And Trey Amos, I think he's very much in play. Talked about his consensus big board ranking yesterday being like 41st. I think there's a big chunk of guys, at least for me, and who knows how close I am to what the NFL is thinking. Chances are I'm not that close. But, I think we're in a situation where there could be a bunch of dudes, and after about pick 18, it's like, all right, all these guys have second-round grades. And so whether or not you're ranking among the media is 41st or 52nd or 33rd or 36th, I think there's a chance you could get taken, and that's why I think Trey Amos, he could be there, right? I've talked about JT Tuimoloau. I've talked about Landon Jackson, the pass rusher from Arkansas. I think they're all kind of in play unless a dude drops. And like in this draft, my last dude, Michael Williams, went at 22. That would be very sad, but the Amos pick at 23 would make a ton of sense and would not surprise me. Visual followers along, you're seeing that I'm scrolling. Audio listeners, we have taken this dude at PFN has taken Trey Amos. Then JT Tuimoloau. So I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to give this a rock solid grade. I think they could take Tuimoloau at 23, at 54. That's a great pick. I'd be super excited. Not that I have him ranked like way higher than 54th, but it's just like a really solid need fit, quality player, instant impact type pick. I'd really like that if for the Packers with JTT. Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, Texas. Sure. That one's not going to get me going either way. That's kind of okay. All right, cool. Round 4. Ty Felton. I got to look at Ty Felton because I have a feeling he is one of those guys that does not hit one of their benchmarks. And I was right. 6'1", 183. They're not doing it. Especially at 6'1". If he was 5'10", 183, maybe a slot. 6'1", 183 just means you're skinny. They're not going to be interested in that. Green Bay, that is not going to be interested in that. And then Powell Ryland actually is super interesting. He's a really athletic edge with limited production, but in round 5, you're not going to get a toolsy edge with production. Toolsy edges with productions go in the top 15. So overall, good effort. For first 2 rounds go like that. I'm not going to care a ton. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about anything. But it did kind of fall off. Like, I'm not in love with the Texas guy. I don't think they're even going to look at the Maryland wide receiver. He's too thin. And then, once you get down to round 5, 6, and 7, it's kind of, they drafted Travis Glover last year. Like, you just never know what you're going to get that late in the draft. And it's silly to try and kind of zero in that far down the road. So hopping back into Old Reliable, getting to the mock draft simulator on PFF, folks, going to do a 5-round mock. Going to go back to centering all of the sliders, public board, positional value, drafting for needs, and middle randomness. We're going to now share the screen. Here we go. All right. Again, the goal here is if something that makes any sense at all presents itself, we're going to try and trade down and acquire another pick. We have 5 trade offers. I would not probably like to trade with the Lions. New England. That would be interesting. This would be kind of the Jordy Nelson. Let's try this. Let's see. So would you get okay. So this trade, just so folks that are following along, we're offering pick 23 for pick 38. So we're moving down. We're moving. It seems like New England, they don't own a second. So we're taking New England's second at the top really top end of the second round. They're sending in their third round pick at 69. We're also asking for a high fourth round pick at 106 for pick 23. So this is going to be a thick draft. This would be the type of thing that Goody would make if he's trying to hoard picks. And if I can get 3 guys that are top, let's see, 106 picks, you throw out all the guys you weren't going to take anyway. If I can get 3 of my top 75 players instead of 1, I'm going to take those swings. Let's see if the Patriots do it. And they did. Okay, so we've achieved our goal. We now own pick 38, 69, and 106. It's going to be a long wait until tomorrow. Packers fans at the draft on Thursday probably aren't thrilled, but I think Green Bay took Jordy Nelson at 37. I'm now holding on to pick 38. Let's see if a player that I would have probably taken at 23 overall anyway is still there. And there is one. And it's Trey Amos, and I'm going to take him. So I am thrilled with the way that this worked out. Now at 54, I'm going to go ahead and take, I don't even need to look any further. I know that the Packers need pass rush, but I'm going Jaden Higgins at 54. So Amos and Higgins. Now we're picking right at the top here of the third round, which we would have not been doing before the trade. Unable to probably talk ourselves into Jack Sawyer with those really, really short arms. Jared Ivey just tested out like a very, very poor athlete. Working through here of guys that I really like. I'm going to take Wyatt Millum. Am I? I think I am. I think he's just that darn good. You know what? No, I'm going to take CJ West. I think he's got some upside as a defensive tackle. We're kind of punting on pass rush, which will make people annoyed. I'm going to take a bonus pick here too with Terrence Ferguson. That's my bonus pick that we don't really need, we being the Green Bay Packers. So just so folks are, I just grabbed 2 extra picks, and I used one of the extra picks for a bonus pick in Terrence Ferguson. Now, if Kraft or Musgrave don't both go through their contract years in 2026 and both don't re-sign, we've got a guy that I really, really like in Terrence Ferguson at that position. Makuba would be a really interesting nickel. But right now, I'd like to take my best swing, if we could, at a pass rusher. One that I kind of like. Let's go Tyler Barron from Miami. I do like him still. I think he's got 6'5", 260. He's got some of the size that they like. That's what I thought. I mean, I think he's a decent enough fit that they would at least consider it. Now I think we're going to go right back to, we're going to check. Maybe we'll stick our nose in at linebacker. Audio listeners, we will catch back up. Oh, Jack Kaiser. Hell yeah. Especially after he tested. We're going to probably double dip at corner or wide receiver here in round 5. Probably double dipping at corner or wide receiver, not with Quinn Ewers. Quincy Riley, I think, would be a good pick here. He is older than old, but he's 6 foot. He's 195. He can play some man. He was awesome in 2023. I wrote him up for the guide. I think you could get 4 years out of him as maybe like your third corner, your third outside corner. So if one of your starters goes out, he's not going to kill you. I like that value in round 5. I like how this one turned out, folks. Okay. Again, folks with the guide, excuse me, folks with the audio, the guide. I got the guide on my mind. You should buy the guide. We're moving down. We're picking up multiple kind of bites at the apple. Terrence Ferguson is sort of the bonus pick, but addressing the corner situation, pass rush, nose tackle, and then I think you could call your bonus picks Jack Kaiser and Terrence Ferguson. But I like that Amos Higgins start. That's just awesome, and I really like the way that we added talent here. Not a ton in the trenches, no offensive linemen, which is after the bank signing is fine with me. You can spam offensive line in round 6 and 7 like they did last year, and kind of move forward from there. Maybe re-sign Andre Dillard, maybe go find another Andre Dillard. But right now they should have a swing tackle. If Jordan Morgan is a player, then they've already got a swing tackle on the roster with Tom and Rasheed Walker as the starters. All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to do this a short and sweet way. Drink Badger State, buy the guide, use promo code DAILY for $1 off. Go Pack Go.